Well, hello everybody. We're just keeping it casual today. Didn't really. Just keeping it casual. It's Friday here in Asheville, North Carolina. Welcome, Root. I don't know what this. There's new messages coming up. MB Davis, Ashley, welcome. It says Root Magnus Dotrier is viewing your video now. Tap to invite her to join your video as a guest. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling cozy. I'll get into that in a moment. Welcome, Cindy. I don't know what that means. Join my video as a guest. Or maybe I'll tap and find out. Tap to invite to join her video as a guest. Tap. I don't know what that just did. Tap. Well, I tapped you, Root. So hopefully that did something good for you. Hey, Jane. Welcome. Jane joining us from the United Kingdom. Cyprus. We have a few Cyprus people. A few devoted Cyprus folks. Hi, Rosen. Welcome. It's so good to be together. To really, truly, fully, deeply, profoundly, wholly, resolutely be together with a capital B and a capital E. And in this profound depth of relaxing into the essence of who we are, this ground of being, which is the essence of who we are, we find the greatest freedom lies within ourselves. Hello, MD Abu Musa. Where are you from, sir? Great to have you with us. So, we're going to share a little bit about that with words today. And as always, beyond the words, there is a presence. There's a unified resonant field that is healing, that is transformative, that is nurturing, because it's grounding you into the authentic essence of who and what we truly are. There's a sense of being loved as we are, loving what is as it is. Whatever thoughts are arising, whatever emotional energy is arising, whatever physical sensations are arising, whatever experiences are arising, whatever beliefs are arising, loving what is as it is, without the assumption that it should be any different than it is. So we find this profound realization. Vancouver Island is an amazing place. I was there many years ago. I love you too, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for the hearts. I was in Vancouver Island a long time ago. And it was beautiful. Amazing, amazing, beautiful, gorgeous place. Glad to have you with us. Yeah. So we find this place where love and freedom intersect, and they become one and the same. Spain. Hola, Dorata, ¿cómo estás? So we can often think of love and freedom as two different things. Right? Do I choose love or do I choose freedom? Do I choose freedom or do I choose love? I love this person, but do I choose love or do I choose freedom? I want to be with this person, but do I choose love or do I choose freedom? And as we go deeper into this essence, who we are, what's so profound and what's so amazing is that there is no choice that needs to be made. That's right, Peggy. Love is all there is. Love is all there is. There's no choice that needs to be made. Love and freedom, unconditional love, and boundless freedom are actually the exact same thing. Unconditional love and boundless freedom are exactly the same thing. And when you recognize this and realize this, you become so relaxed, you don't even have to sit up anymore. You just turn on the video and you just lounge with your head tucked on a pillow and you just start talking to people, and profound words come through, and there's this beautiful unified resonant field of love and support from the ground of being present. And it doesn't come from effort or struggle. It doesn't come from forcing it. It doesn't come from trying really hard. It comes from allowing the authenticity of who you are, this universal divine creative intelligence, to move through you moment by moment, when our hearts are open, when our minds are open, when our bodies are relaxed and available. Man, the hearts are flowing right now. When we are available for this intelligence to move through us. Yeah, deeply chilled, like a fine wine. And it transcends even the idea of being spiritual, or even the notion of trying to be spiritual. It's not about trying to be spiritual or not trying to be spiritual, or doing it right or doing it wrong, or being holy or being unholy, or being a sinner or being saved. Or it's not about any of this. It's just about relaxing into the pure essence of who and what you are. And when you relax into the pure essence of who and what you are, then you're free. You're free, and you're no longer attached or identified to the story of who people think you are. You're no longer attached or identified to the story of who people want you to be. You're no longer attached or identified to the story of who people think you should be. You're no longer attached or identified to the story of who you have been. You're no longer attached or identified even to the stories of yourself. Because to care what other people think about you means only that on some level you care what you think about you. How other people think about you is affecting how you think about you, so you don't like the way they're thinking about you because it's making you think about how you think about you. This one consciousness that's interconnected. So, to be truly, profoundly, absolutely free is to not even care what you think about you. Then you can just relax and just lean your head back on a pillow and talk to people from a space of profound freedom. From a space of profound freedom. And from a space of unconditional love. Because now, from the space of profound freedom, I don't need you to think any differently than you do. I don't need you to be anything different than you are. I don't need myself to think anything different than I am. I don't need myself to be anything different than I am. Who is rocking these hearts? My goodness. Somebody's getting some serious thumb exercise. I love it. I'm a big emoji person, so I can definitely appreciate others who are loving and sharing the hearts. So, love and freedom become the same when you're not trying to control anyone. You're not trying to control anyone. There's no need anymore to control anybody. There's no need to make anybody different than they are. You're able to love someone, anyone, as they are. You're able to love yourself however you are, whoever you are, as you are. So, welcome, Tati. There's no need to control another. And this is good news because what you start to realize as you mature, as you gain wisdom, is that it's actually impossible to control what anyone else does or thinks or says or decides. And so to realize this truth of I actually can't control anybody. I can't control what anyone else does. Anyone. Not my son, not my daughter, not my husband, not my wife, not my brother, not my sister, not my grandfather, not my grandmother, not my aunts, not my uncles, not my neighbors, not my coworkers, etc. Friends. I can't control what anyone else does. And from this profound sense of freedom, I actually don't need to. I actually don't need to anymore. I thought I did, but I've realized I actually don't need to because my sense of love, my sense of freedom, my sense of inner peace, and my sense of empowerment, I've realized is not dependent upon this is a big one. Tune in here. It's a big moment. I've realized my sense of love, freedom, inner peace, and empowerment is not dependent upon anything. It's not dependent upon anything. My sense of love, inner peace, freedom, and empowerment is not dependent upon the external circumstances, the external temporary passing circumstances. I just heard a truck honk in support of that one. So there's no need to try to control anyone or anything. Try to control the circumstances. So what's so amazing, we'll get more into this next time on a deeper level, but we're going to scratch the surface, so to speak, right now. What's so amazing, what I've discovered, which is so continually mind-blowing, release, relax, let it all go, for sure. Yes. What I've discovered is what I call relationships of amazement. Relationships of amazement. So, what happens when you're no longer trying to control somebody else at all, and they're no longer trying to control you at all? Welcome, Ginny. Whether or not they're trying to control you actually isn't so important, because you can't control whether or not they try to control you. But there's a vibrational frequency, right? Law of attraction, resonant field. So those people are going to realize that you're not working for what they're trying to create, which is control. So they'll kind of get that fairly quickly. Some people may take a little bit longer. But what happens if you're in a relationship where you're not trying to control the other person at all, and not trying to control you at all, and you actually have no idea what's supposed to happen next? You have no idea what they should do next, how they should behave, how they should yeah, that's actually a full sentence. You have no idea how they should. Anything that comes after that is exactly right. There's no should anymore. There's no should. There's no sense of what someone should do or shouldn't do. There is the sense of how you respond. So someone could do something that makes you feel sad, or makes you feel happy, or makes you feel angry, or makes you feel joyous, or makes you feel ecstatic, etc. So there's the response. There's something that happens. There's a response to it. But there's no sense that it should or shouldn't be happening. There's no sense of trying to control the other. Why is there no sense of trying to control the other? Because you realize that you can't control the other. That it actually is not possible to control the other, and it's actually not necessary. Not possible, not necessary. The freedom lies within, the love lies within, the empowerment lies within, the inner peace lies within. I talked in the video I made about no longer being a spiritual teacher, which everyone should watch. Did you catch that? Everyone should watch. No, let me rephrase that. I'm inviting everyone to watch the video on Spiritual Teacher, where I go into about the fact that there's nothing outside of you that can save you, right? So we're trying to control somebody to essentially to make ourselves happy, right? To make ourselves happy. If they do this, this will make me happy. If they do this, this will make me sad. But what if we realize that simple, profound truth that everyone will nod their head yes when I say it, but virtually no one actually practices it because the conditioning is so strong. If we get to this realization that there's actually no one else that can make us happy, right? There's actually no one else that can make us happy. Yes, the ego. The ego is the illusionary sense of a separate self. So we get this illusionary sense of a separate self. We get attached and identified to the story of who and what we think we are. And then we think we want someone else to try to enhance our story of ourselves. And if they don't do what we think they should do, what we want them to do, then we're upset, we're angry, we're frustrated, we're blaming them for doing something wrong, right? But people are just being themselves. Is all they're ever doing is just being themselves, right? So when you come into this space, it's hard to let the ego go, says Cindy. The ego doesn't need to be let go. It's actually the ego that wants to let go of the ego. The ego, it's just a matter of seeing it for what it is. Seeing what it is, seeing how it operates, seeing what it does, seeing that it's not the essence of who you are. It's not the ground of being that is the essence of who you are. And then you just notice this story of a person that is you in this three-dimensional world in which you navigate through the realm of time and space. But it's not really who you are. It's not the essence of who you are. It's not the essence of who anyone else is either. It's this awakening to this sense of it being like a dream. The dream of being a human being. There's this great, I was on this podcast yesterday, we were talking about Taoism a little bit, and it reminded me of some of my favorite Taoist stories that inspired me on my path. So there was a story of Chuang Tzu. Chuang Tzu was a great Chinese sage, and Chuang Tzu, he fell asleep in the afternoon, took a nap and fell asleep in the forest, and he had a dream that he was a butterfly. And he woke up and he wasn't sure if he was a man who had a dream he was a butterfly, or a butterfly who's now having a dream that he's a man. And when you start to awaken to this infinite essence of who you are, it's like that. It's like you just these dreams within dreams within dreams within dreams, different movements of storylines and characters and situations and circumstances. But it's not the essence of who you are, right? It's not who you really are. So you don't have to let go of the ego. You just notice it and see it for what it is. And it doesn't need to be dismantled, or it doesn't see, because it's the ego that wants to do that. It's a sense of a separate self that wants to but when you're just relaxed and open and vast and in this space of infinite awareness, then everything is allowed to arise and to fall, to appear and disappear as is. As is. And then you're in relationships of amazement. Relationships of amazement. Right? So there's nothing that you need from someone else. John Gray said a line that John Gray is the guy that did some relationship books that were very popular. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. That whole shtick. So I was doing this kind of conference thing one time in Los Angeles, and he was one of the speakers as well. And he said something that I liked. He said, he's talking to the women at this point, and he said, "A man cannot make you happy, but he can make you happier." So that I appreciate that. So I think that that's true, that while I'm saying no one can make you happy, and it's absolutely 100% true that no one can make you happy. However, when you find the space of love inside yourself, this sense of peace inside yourself, this sense of freedom inside yourself, this sense of empowerment inside yourself, another can amplify you back to yourself. Does that make sense? They're only giving you back what you're putting out. So when you find this depth inside yourself, it can be amplified back to you. But if you don't have it inside yourself, you can't get it from outside yourself. It only can be amplified back to you. Now, the truth is we all have this inside ourselves, but it's a matter of tuning into it, like recognizing it, honing into it. Relationship resonance, I like that, MB, yes. Bendición de Diosa. So great to have you with us. Welcome. And I want to catch this comment that I missed down here. Non-attachment to form and our outcome brings us peace, clarity, and freedom. More space consciously to play, create. Yes, this. Truth speaks. Talk about it, bro. That's a beautiful comment, MB. Thank you. And that is true. So now, from this space of not looking for someone to make you happy or fill some kind of hole inside yourself or fill some kind of space of lack inside yourself, and there's no need to then to try to control another or to make another any different than they are or to change another. Welcome, Ellie from Tokyo, Japan. Great to have you with us. And Bendición, where are you now? Are you still in Cuba? Or are you in Europe? Where are you at? We come into the space of amazement. So I'm not trying to control you. I'm not trying to make you be any different than you are. I don't know what you're going to do next. I don't know what you're going to say next. I don't know what you're going to feel next. I don't know what you're going to want next. So everything that starts to happen, I'm amazed by now. See, that I've let go of the control. The need to control. I've let go of the need to control. Because I realized I can't control you. So I've let go of the need to control. And now I'm in a relationship of amazement. Everything that you do is amazing. You just texted me, you just called me, I'm amazed. I had no idea. I didn't expect you to do it. I didn't have any sense of trying to control you to make you do it, or I'm just in a space of wide open, infinite expanse of just sharing what's the most authentic essence of my heart in each moment from a space of presence. I'm inviting you to do the same. And now we're in a relationship of amazement. All the ideas of the way we think it's supposed to be, the way we thought it, the things that we think we should do or should not do, all the control mechanisms, all the efforting. Now I just relax. I lean my head back on the pillow. I take a deep breath. And I'm in relationships of amazement. I'm in relationships of absolute amazement. Like, everything becomes so amazing. Everything becomes so amazing. So the relationships with human beings become so amazing. But not just human relationships, which is so profound and transformative. To have relationships change. This is relationships with your partner. This is relationships with your children. Relationships with your parents. With your family members. With your closest friends. Relationships of amazement. I'm going to revolutionize the world with these relationships of amazement. It's a whole other level. Just getting started. I'll tell you some personal stories from from my life next time, and how this house has just been opening up and expanding. And love is not a scarce resource. We think love is a scarce resource. We think that, oh, there's only this amount of love, and if you love this person, then you don't love me. But if you love that, you don't love it. But love is abundant, and it's an exponentially. It's like it becomes exponentially more powerful the more it circulates. So this sense of scarcity is realized to be nothing but an unconscious limiting belief system, and that love is absolutely, fundamentally, unbelievably abundant, and absolutely, fundamentally here now. And wherever you look for it, wherever you look for it, you're looking too far. Wherever you look for it, you're looking too far. And you'll find it there too. Dorata says it's a challenge for the mothers, but very needed to realize that it's true, not control child. And B says she's inviting some friends to join our conversation. Thank you, MB. Thank you, Kelly. There's a playback available, so most people watch it on the playback. So you can, whatever you miss, you can watch it on the playback. I agree it's a challenge for mothers or fathers, but it's much easier to live in the truth than to live in a lie. And the idea that you can control somebody else is a lie. And when you realize the truth, that you can't control anyone else, number one, and number two, there's no need to control anyone else, the truth, the realization of the truth, and then to live in the truth, to abide by the truth, sets you free. So I think that's an interesting way of articulating it. Like, as opposed to, like, creating some kind of spiritual whatever, being more spiritual. I'm really interested in truth. Truth. The truth sets you fundamentally, profoundly free. And truth has a sort of relaxing quality to it. When you live in the truth, your body relaxes, your mind relaxes, your heart opens. There's a space of presence. And when you're in a space of not aligning with the truth, resisting the truth, hiding from the truth, compartmentalizing yourself from the truth, your body's tight, you're anxious, the mind is tight, closed, limited, the heart is closed, and that's a recognition and realization that you're not living in line with the truth inside yourself. So what we're really interested in fundamentally, first and foremost, is being in alignment with the truth. There's absolute truth and there's relative truth. The relative truth is always changing, so every moment you have to be looking, what's true right now? What's true right now? What do I feel right now? What do I feel right now? What do I feel right now? What do I think right now? What do I feel right now? What am I experiencing right now? What am I noticing right now? What do I want right now? So this present moment awareness allows you to be in touch, be connected with the authentic truth that's moving inside you. That's relative truth. Then there's the absolute truth, which is the essence, the unchanging essence of who you are, realizing who you really are, realizing the truth of who you really are, beyond thought, beyond emotion, beyond ideas, beyond beliefs. beyond story. And resting and relaxing, anchoring into this truth of who and what we really are, this self-realization. Yeah, that's beautiful, Dorda. She says, yes, and it feels so true. It feels so free, so free in the heart after you do it. I have so much more love with my son after letting go on the deep level. I think that's true in all our relationships. When there's that sense of trying to control, and there's a moment when we let go. I found that in my life, and also in other people's lives that I'm connected to or that I'm familiar with, it's these moments where people have what's perceived as a breakup, or they're transitioning beyond their relationship, that they often feel the closest because they've let go. They've both let go, and now they're just for this moment. There's this authenticity. There's this vulnerability. There's this really like being with each other as I am, as you are, without any kind of veil of need for conformity to any predisposed formula of any kind, structure of any kind. And there's this opening and this depth of intimacy that arises when we fully let go of the box we've tried to put someone into. That's what it comes down to. And there's something so liberating about that, about this, that opens us up to this other depth of love that's possible, another depth of relationship, of amazement. Jane says, just listening to you has made me so chilled and grounded and quiet in the mind. Thank you, Jane. Yeah, I think next time maybe I'll do one like Klein laying down, maybe like being like half asleep. Be like, hey everybody. Hi. Welcome. I'm just kind of sleeping. Because like sleeping and meditation, what's really the difference? As long as you get into a relaxed state. That's all that really matters, right? Okay, anybody have any questions or comments? Anything they want to share? Anybody that wants to announce where they're from, who's viewing that hasn't yet? Let's take a few deep breaths together. So deep breaths in the bottom of the stomach, okay? Chest, stomach, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, One more. Inhale. Exhale. And take all this energy and share it with the world, just with your presence, just with your state of being, not trying to do anything in particular, not trying to become anything in particular, just feeling this presence and sharing it with the world from a space of amazement.